The chilling reality of the United Kingdom under a Labour SNP coalition was laid bare over the New Year period. And it's not something any of us should want to become a reality. In socialist Wales, Mark Drakeford, seemingly so intent on smashing the economy to smithereens, he's started to fine honest folk £60 for going to work in an office. Genuinely, I'm not making that up. It doesn't matter if you're perfectly healthy either. But remember, Drakeford is the man who forced supermarkets to cordon off aisles selling toys and clothes. Now, the Chief Medical Officer in Wales, Sir Frank Atherton, is hysterically proposing that we should all self-isolate for days on end if we have a common cold. And with Labour's love of restrictions, circuit breakers and draconian laws controlling our behaviour, have Welsh COVID rates been any lower than the rest of the UK? No way. According to government data across the pandemic, Wales has had the second highest total rate of cases per 100,000, just under Northern Ireland. Their rate is 20,386.2, and that compares to England's 20,174.2 and Scotland's 17,673.4. In the last 7 days, Wales remains the second highest, again, just behind Northern Ireland. In Scotland, Nicola Sturgeon prizes her role as a COVID dictator, using press conferences broadcast to the nation by the BBC to spread fear and introduce harsh controls on poor Scots. She insists it's to keep them safe. But in my opinion, it's to keep the COVID crisis running for as long as possible so she doesn't have to face the fact her dream of a second independence referendum lies in tatters. So to Sturgeon, Omicron has been a blessing, allowing her to impose new social controls, essentially killing off the Scottish hospitality and entertainment industry once more. Compare and contrast today's Times front pages. So the English edition, there it is, reports that ministers in Westminster are confident new curbs won't be needed, given Plan B has already been imposed and Omicron is a far less severe variant. The Scottish edition, by contrast, reports that large public gatherings could be forbidden in Scotland, forbidden well into the spring, with National Clinical Director Jason Leach saying April will still be too early to host a postponed Hogmanay celebration in Edinburgh. And it's these draconian policies, propagated by Sturgeon, that resulted in ridiculous police overreach and some would say brutality in Scotland that you won't see reported in the mainstream media. Case in point, police raiding the avant-garde gastropub in Glasgow on New Year's Eve, where there are around 50 folk, most of them over 60 years old, simply trying to enjoy their night. Then, for some reason, 2 large police vans, carrying more than 20 officers, according to witnesses, turned up because they were suspected of breaking Sturgeon's outrageously over-the-top COVID rules. The pub may have been targeted because it displays this poster on its door saying, "We have no discrepancy over whether you want to wear a mask or not," and good on them for doing that. But this is what happened when multiple cops stormed the pub.
They're just trying to get his coat and won't let him by.
Where's your coat?
They're just trying to get Andy's girlfriend's coat. Right, let me tell you. I've got the numbers. You want to get a petition and report them all.
You'll get the jail, alright? It's as simple as that. Get the jail? Aye, swear me again, you'll get the jail. It's as simple as that. Don't touch me, you assaulted me 3 times there. Don't. 2 February, you assaulted me 3 times there.
51 years pregnant, 75, not a lawbreaker. We're getting put at a pub. Look at the amount of police here.
1 van, 2 vans, 3 vans, 4 vans, 5 vans. We have 6 vans. 6 vans to arrest some old people.
What a despicably unnecessary show of force from Scottish police, who routinely fail to investigate muggings and burglaries. But it's not their fault. It's Sturgeon's fault for introducing such authoritarian laws, banning bar service and enforcing social distancing between groups. Sturgeon has implemented these measures despite only 1 patient with Omicron having been admitted to intensive care in Scotland. Only 1. During this whole outbreak. Now, we'll be speaking to Mark Wynne later in the show. He was the bloke who filmed that footage, actually, and he says police told him to stop dancing and believes they could have caused serious injury to the 50-year-old man thrown to the floor. The police claim they were simply making a routine visit. But come on, it should never have come to this. Sturgeon is criminalising people drinking and having a good time. The Scottish people must continue to stand up against this sort of COVID hysteria before she divides society for good. So I say to Nicola Sturgeon and Mark Drakeford, shame on you. Shame on you for continually playing politics with a virus.